with AI. Although I'm happy that the internet is doing the good thing as opposed to the bad thing.
The distinction is we're going to get hit by AI stuff that we don't know is AI stuff. That's the problem. We can't. People can't discern fake news from real news sometimes. You really can't. They say your eyes don't lie, but with AI, your eyes will actually lie to you.
Although you and I very much both real people, in case anyone was wondering.
Nice to see you, my friend. You have a good evening.
Have a great show.
All right. Here is how today started. Donald Trump was scheduled to do a sit-down interview with some reporters at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention in Chicago. And here's how today is going for Donald Trump.
You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be
I love the black population of this country, which is only slightly less weird than how he addressed people last week, my beautiful Christians. A Harris campaign ad responded in real time saying, quote, "This is who he is. That is who Donald Trump is." And Vice President Harris responded tonight.
This afternoon, Donald Trump spoke at the annual meeting of the National Association of Black Journalists. And it was the same old show. The divisiveness and the disrespect. And let me just say, the American people deserve better. The American people deserve better.
Campaign is winning. In a major campaign news announcement today, Vice President Harris won the endorsement of the United Auto Workers. UAW President Shawn Fain said, quote, "This campaign is bringing together people from all walks of life, building a movement that can defeat Donald Trump at the ballot box. For our 1 million active and retired members, the choice is clear. We will elect Kamala Harris to be our next president this November," end quote. Vice President Harris is expected to rally in Detroit with her soon-to-be-named running mate, where they will celebrate that endorsement next week. And today, Future Forward is running this new battleground state ad.
I'm running to fight for an America where the economy works for working people, where you only have to work one job to pay the bills, and where hard work is rewarded, where reproductive rights are not just protected by the Constitution of the United States, but guaranteed in every state, because that's our America. And that's the America I believe in.
Donald Trump held a rally this evening in battleground Pennsylvania with the same old riffs like Hannibal Lecter, which were overshadowed by his disastrous performance at the NABJ today. But tonight, speaking at the Sigma Gamma Rho sorority boule in Houston, Vice President Harris urged voters to respond at the ballot box.
Our nation is counting on you to energize, to organize, and to mobilize, to register folks to vote and get them to the polls. Because when we organize, mountains move. When we mobilize, nations change. And when we vote, we make history.
Joining us now is Pennsylvania's Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis. Lieutenant Governor, good to see you. I drove from New York to Philly last night, and I saw all those billboards. Boy, they're starting. This is battleground Pennsylvania, and it is going to be a very, very important few months for you. How's it looking?
You know, it's great to be with you. I feel good. The energy that we've seen for Vice President Harris over this last few weeks has been electric. We've seen thousands of new people sign up to volunteer. We've seen the campaign really get off on a good start in terms of fundraising. People are excited in Pennsylvania. So as the vice president said in that clip earlier, we're going to organize, we're going to mobilize, and we're going to defeat Donald Trump at the ballot box. And I'm confident with the work that we're going to do in Pennsylvania, she's going to be victorious come November. When
you look at the various battleground states, they all have a little bit of a different flavor, something that has to happen in order to win. And when you look at Pennsylvania over the years, nobody, except in statewide elections, but presidential elections tend to be a little bit tighter in Pennsylvania all the time. It's a place where you got to fight for every 10, 100, 1,000 votes. What's the thing that's going to make the difference for Kamala Harris? Because either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump need Pennsylvania in order to become president.
Look, I think the contrast is clear in this election. We have a vice president who's been fighting for working people, fighting to defend our democracy and standing up for reproductive freedom. And we have a former president who, quite frankly, is trying to take us backwards, who wants to divide us, who wants to make sure that certain Americans don't succeed. We saw that highlighted in the disrespect that he showed at the NABJ earlier today. And the contrast is clear. And I think at the end of the day, Pennsylvanians are going to vote for a brighter future. They're going to vote to protect our freedoms, and they're going to vote to secure our democracy right here in the birthplace of our democracy by electing Kamala Harris as our next president.
You talked about NABJ. What did you see when you watched that? Because depending on who you are and what your life experience is, you may have heard something a little bit different from Donald Trump. He was asked a question about why black voters should trust him given the things that he said. And he had some weird answers, including about Kamala Harris's multi-ethnic background.
Yeah, you know, I got to say, who the hell is Donald Trump to question Vice President Harris's blackness? You know, she is an accomplished woman who attended a historically black college, is a card-carrying member of the oldest African-American sorority in the nation, Alpha Kappa Alpha. She has proven she doesn't need to prove anything to him. It's the latest example of his disrespect that's often targeted at women in marginalized communities. And quite frankly, it's disqualifying for him to serve as our president. We need a leader who's going to bring people together, who's going to work to get things done. Donald Trump has proven time and time again he wants to separate us, and he wants to treat certain classes of people different. And we can't tolerate that. We have to fight for a candidate that's going to bring everyone together. And that's what Vice President Harris is going to do.
Which somebody like you has to do in a place like Pennsylvania, because you can't win an election in that state with one constituency. Obviously, we saw with Barack Obama in 2008, 2012, black people in major urban centers in Pennsylvania, like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, they responded very positively to that. But you just got a big, complicated state with lots of people. What is the message that you most want to hear from Kamala Harris? Not necessarily the one that's most appealing nationally, but the thing that's going to get you those electoral college votes in Pennsylvania.
You know, as I crisscross the Commonwealth, there are a few things that bind all of us together, regardless of where you're at, whether you're in rural Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, or Philadelphia. Everybody wants an economy that works for everyone, where everyone has the opportunity to have a family-sustaining job, to earn a livable wage, and to live the American dream. Everyone wants to make sure that we have safer communities. Vice President Harris has been leading on the Office of Gun Violence Prevention at the White House to make our communities safer. Her administration has delivered lower crime rates as opposed to the Trump administration, where we saw crime skyrocket. And people want to make sure that their children have a quality education. And so it's about making sure that everyone has those ladders of opportunity to succeed. I think the vice president is starting to lay out her case in her campaign that's not even barely 2 weeks old at this point. And folks are really going to rally, I believe, in Pennsylvania towards her vision, because ultimately those are the things that unite us. People just want the freedom to live the American dream, the freedom to make their own decisions for them and their family. Look, I'm the proud husband of a black woman, the father of a black girl, and I'm fighting for my daughter's future to make sure that she has the freedom to make her own reproductive health care decisions. And I think that's what every Pennsylvanian wants for them and their family. And I think the vice president has spoken to that over her time as an attorney general, a United States senator, and now as our vice president. And as our next president, she's going to deliver on those results.
What about Josh Shapiro? Does that help seal the deal if Josh Shapiro's her vice presidential candidate?
Well, let me tell you, I've known Josh Shapiro for years. He is a tremendous public servant. We are so lucky to have him serving as our governor here in the Commonwealth, and I'm proud and honored to be his governing partner and his lieutenant governor. I can tell you Josh Shapiro is going to be great no matter what he does, but ultimately the vice president is going to make a decision that's deeply personal to her about who is the person that she wants to serve as president and vice president with. And we're going to respect whatever decision she makes, but I'm proud to be Josh Shapiro's governing partner.
Lieutenant Governor, good to see you. Thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis. Coming up, Arizona's biggest Donald Trump sycophant and election denier is now officially the Republican nominee for the United States Senate. The Democrat facing her in that race, Congressman Ruben Gallego, joins me after a break.
Look out, 'cause here I come.
Have you always had trouble losing weight and keeping it off? Same.
Discover the power of Wegovy.
And I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
With Wegovy, I lost 35 pounds. And some lost over 46 pounds.
Wegovy.
And I'm keeping the weight off.
Wegovy helps you lose weight and keep it off.
I'm reducing my risk.
Wegovy is the only FDA-approved weight management medicine that's proven to reduce risk of major cardiovascular events in adults with known heart disease and with either obesity or overweight.
Wegovy shouldn't be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family had medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
With Wegovy,
I'm losing weight.
I'm keeping it off.
And I'm lowering my CV risk.
That's the power of Wegovy.
Check your cost and coverage before talking to your healthcare professional about Wegovy.
Shop Etsy for classroom staples under $40 that are anything but basic. Find everything from personalized apparel and accessories to gifts for teachers. When you need back-to-school supplies under $40, everyone can agree on. Etsy has it.
Borderie ships the only fully arranged cheese and charcuterie boards nationwide, so you can send the perfect birthday gift, customizable with any age, shipped to your door. With boards for every occasion, Borderie is guaranteed to impress. Send the perfect gift at Borderie.com.
You're finally on vacation, but can't help but worry that something isn't right back home. With MyQ, home is just a touch away. MyQ is the only smart home security solution that provides video monitoring, real-time notifications, and lets you decide who comes in and who stays out. All in one easy-to-use app. So take that well-deserved break